and then 5 minutes to reply. This is again extremely interesting because usually I tell students, you can interrupt me when you want, but this rarely happens because you may be shy, you may don't want to interrupt me. Instead, when I ask the student to ask a question, I tell you the questions that came out were very interesting and sometimes challenging. This is also what I would like you to do, to try to challenge me, to ask me something that is tough. I mean, this is also a kind of joke that is a kind of fun that is, I think it's interesting. And then there is the self-evaluation, I already spoke about it, and interim check of students' opinion. And there might be more ideas. So let's try to interact. And interaction means that not only I give something to you, but ideally you should give something to me. This is really exciting and also motivates me a lot. So if you are successfully motivating me, then your learning experience is more successful as well. You may think that I am a bit, in Italian we say idealista, so, which means that I am a bit, I don't know how to say in English, idealist. I'm not sure if it gives, okay, but you got it. And, but, just try to follow me, give me a chance. I think that it will be easy. It will be interesting, not easy. It's not easy, actually. Okay, I think that basically that's it. Just 1 second. And, okay, one final thing. What is this course about? Because you may, and in 2 minutes I try to give you an introduction. You may wonder it. You may think like, but what is sustainable design of water resource systems? Okay, first, sustainability. Sustainability, I will give a lecture on sustainability because it is something that we all know. We all know what is, but in technical terms, what does it mean? Nobody has an answer. So this is the challenge for an engineer. Like, I know what is sustainability. I know it's important. I know that we should commit to it, but how to do it? Should I not use the car anymore? Should I not use the water unless it's strictly necessary? This is something that, when it comes to technical guidelines, something that still needs to be explored. And I tell you, I try to get information. There are solutions, of course, like rainwater harvesting, etc. But it's not clear how to implement them. So rainwater harvesting is a good solution for Bologna? Not sure. Is a good solution for other countries like Spain? Maybe. So, sustainability is the driving concept here, but we should try to be technical. Technical guidelines for sustainability. This means that when it's transferred to water resource systems, what are water resource systems? The term speaks for itself. They are water supply system, water irrigation system, so water supply system for civil use, for agricultural use, river network. River network are water resource systems because we take water from rivers. Groundwater is part of water resource systems. And so everything is related to taking water, withdrawing water, delivering water, managing water is part of water resource systems. And of course, today we know that the sustainable use of water is a relevant topic. Look, part of the techniques to make water resources use and management sustainable are traditional. So we don't have to associate climate change, sustainability with necessarily new techniques. This is, I think, a big mistake that scientists are doing. They associate the need for sustainability and climate change with rejecting traditional procedures, introducing brand new ones, but it's not clear what they have to be. So, First concept that I want to give to you. Part of what I'm teaching will be traditional. And maybe that you already got some of the concepts in your bachelor. So I will check this. I will check if you already took the concepts in your bachelor, etc., to avoid overlaps. And on these traditional techniques, we have to introduce the element of change, because sustainability is strictly related to change, and the need for making the use sustainable. Because when traditional techniques were elaborated, typically they were not conceived for being sustainable and for dealing with change. It's not really true what I'm saying, because engineers always realize that everything is changing, so they took some precaution against change. But still, today we have to revise these procedures in any case. So basically the concept will be traditional procedures. I will start with assessment of water resources availability, which is a typical traditional assessment carried out in engineering. And then I introduce the element of change, human impact, climate change, etc. And this is something that, you know, I think it is extremely interesting because it's something that is innovative. Adapting traditional procedure to change. And as a final sentence for today, what I always tell students, there is a lot of concern for change today, climate change in primis, and people often discuss on how to mitigate it. This is good, but we shouldn't forget, as engineers, we are committed to adapt to it. And it's a different story. Mitigating, avoiding climate change, adapting to climate change, they are related issues, but really different. And this is the subject of this course. Explore some design method, traditional ones, adapt them to climate change. We will not discuss about mitigation of climate change, carbon sinks, or etc., carbon cycle, but we will discuss on how these techniques should be adapted. We will discuss whether these techniques are still reliable in the presence of change. This is the aim, and okay, we will build it together. So let's see, we see again on Monday, correct? And unfortunately we got a couple of rooms. This one is not bad, the other one is not really the best. I have the problem of the blackboard, but we will manage. Any questions?